3.
Hello, my name is Erin Davison, and I work in the Youth Services Department at the Herrick District Library. Thanks so much for being willing to read to students. I'm just going to give you a couple of quick pointers on how best to read to groups. A lot of us, I'm sure, are familiar with reading one-on-one with young children, but we wanted to give you a couple of tips with this. First of all, make sure you preview the book in advance. We've given you some questions that you might want to consider asking the children. One of the things we like to do is engage them. So it's more than just us sitting up here reading the book. We want to make sure children feel a part of the story. Also, when we start reading a story, we want to make sure we point out the author and the illustrator as well, and the title. So I usually like to point it right out. Yard Sale, and this is, the author is Eve Bunting, and the illustrator is Lauren Castillo. And this also is an opportunity for you to ask, depending upon the age of your class that you're reading to. If they're kindergartners, you might want to ask, does anyone know what an illustrator is? Because children might not know that that's the person who draws the pictures. So when we look at the cover of this, I wonder what it might be about. It's a yard sale. Looks like there's things for sale right here. Have any of you ever been to a yard sale? So that's an idea, a little example of making sure we ask questions. When we hold books to read out loud to children, make sure you do what's most comfortable for you. I tend to read from the bottom like this. I do know that there are people who like to read this way when they're holding books, but we want to make sure that children can see the pictures. For them, that's the most exciting part, depending upon how we read. So when we're reading out loud, I'm going to start by just taking a look at this page here, and then we'll just get started. Almost everything we own is spread out in our front yard. It is all for sale. We are moving to a small apartment. Just make sure you give that time so that you might have to pan a bit this way to make sure that everyone can see those pictures. And you might want to point some things out as you're looking at it. Oh my goodness, it looks like maybe they have to get rid of their bike. Oh no, and a teddy bear, and I see some books. Goodness, that's an awful lot of stuff that they're going to have to sell. Small but nice, my mom told me. She and Dad took me to see it. He showed me the fun bed that came down from the wall. Have you ever seen a bed like that before? I have not. Look, he said, it's right in the living room. It's all nice, I said, but it didn't feel like ours. So again, just make sure that everyone can take a look at those pictures. You also want to make sure that you speak slowly and clearly, and the more you can preview the book in advance, the better you're going to be. So again, just to remember that when you're holding the book, you can hold it this way. You can also hold it this way. If you need to turn the book a little bit towards you to turn the pages, that's okay. We just want to make sure that we do that pan so that everyone can see those pictures, because that's the most exciting part. We'll have some of those questions available for you, and we'll have some other helpful tips that we'll send your way. Thanks so much for all the work you do.